Hell yeah.
Aiming too high.
Now you're aiming at the target, right? That's
I
is
feel,
it?
I feel like one of these cameras is not going to make it out of this alive.
This is no. If we just aim at the target,
Yeah. Oh, I like the way that gun loads.
or right,
Yeah, that's a
Right?
sniper shot. Yeah, because of the barrel, the length of the barrel. You're going to have more accuracy over a long
this
range.
thing. Look, it's got an adjustable scope on it.
Oh, my goodness. That's sexy.
I don't know why you would need your scope all the way out to there.
How many does that one hold?
Why am I so
One.
off?
It only holds one?
Yeah.
You know the reason why that scope goes like that is because it has an extension. So this is called a rail, and this is universal. So this is supposed to be patented, but this company actually stole this from Nerf. So you can use the darts for these guns or for the Nerf ones,
Yeah.
and they have a range of attachments. The reason why you have a long rail is because you could have a light attachment or a tactical scope.
I need this light attachment, but it's like a flashlight, right? Not like
one of them
not
is a
laser
flashlight.
scope.
No, one's a laser scope for sure.
I love how you're an expert on the Nerf gun tactical.
I
Rosie just busted.
when I was in college, zombie Nerf wars were a very real thing.
Ooh, good shot.
Who did that one?
Which
I
one?
think that was Rosie.
Yeah,
Wow.
Rosie's busting targets over here. She's fucking.
Savage
See,
life.
I'm
Oh,
convinced.
there we go.
I'm convinced that this is what our gangsters, our local shooters. This is what they need. Is
To become
Nice.
kids again.
Well, yeah, yeah, right. But target practice.
Wow.
Too many innocent bystanders.
What? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, too many innocent bystanders. I think it's because our gangsters don't get enough like hunting opportunities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like they need to be out in the woods, get some target.
Yeah. Join a
practice in.
4-H club. You know, figure
Yeah.
things out.
Right. You know, get some real target practice. Get
Yeah.
some,
That's not each other. It's
Yeah, have
hard.
some
I
fun.
mean, moving
see, we're
target.
hunters and gatherers by nature. You know what I mean? And it just went the wrong direction. Over time.
dude. Yeah.
Why,
Like
why does Rosie
everything.
get a bucket of bullets?
Well,
And I
you
get.
got a bag of
We
them
got
sitting
a-
right in
we
front
got-
of you.
You gave me this fucking.
Motherfucker, I gave you two
pea shooter.
guns.
You want to give me the
Maybe-
pea shooter, bro?
The
I'll
pea
take the
shooter.
pea. I'll take the
Do
pea
you
shooter.
It's not the
remember-
size. I'll
do
figure
you
out how to use
remember
this.
the tiny
What?
cricket? Or the
You talking about Jiminy?
Yeah, you-
no, not Jiminy.
Little Jiminy Cricket.
No, the fucking
Oh shit.
on Men in Black.
We don't. Ooh. we don't talk about Will Smith movies anymore.
Why not?
I don't know, because his wife might get offended. Oh,
No,
that's
I don't
all.
think she's watching.
She's probably fucking somebody else. Like,
I mean, she's definitely fucking somebody else.
Well, I don't know, but I
They
don't know,
established that
definitely.
within the world.
yeah,
sounds
but
fun.
she's not fucking with that guy anymore. Yeah.
She just shot 16 bullets in the time I shot 6.
Yeah, but you weren't holding a gun some of that time.
I'm trying to
Rosie's
conserve.
an
This guy's
assassin.
like, well, you know, my ops said they would
This is
have.
all bullets. This
Yes.
is-
Yeah, bro.
My ops would have fallen had I not put my gun down, but guess
There's
what?
different kinds of guns everywhere.
Yeah, well, we just don't have any of the. We don't have any that shoot the little balls here. Here,
Pickles
I
here?
also have an arsenal.
We just shoot your little balls.
You shoot your little balls right through it.
Rosie has
Load
found her
them.
childhood again. I love this.
She's finding her fucking aim too. She's hitting her mark. She is hitting her mark, which is the target.
Dude, she is savage. I'm telling you. I'm taking you hunting.
You
bro.
gave her
Dude,
you gave her the
yeah.
golden eye golden gun.
I'm gonna take her on drive-bys. take her riding with me in case the ops pull up and fucking try to jack the fucking ride called Quest.
Yeah.
Be like, we weren't doing anything. We were heading to a
Fucking yeah.
algebra tutor class.
Back. My shooter's
Taking
got
night
a
classes.
heavy finger. Oh god dang, because I can't hit it at all. Plus I'm gonna be driving, so
It's the wind.
it
Wind
is.
You have
It
any
is.
Is that what's making
But when
mine
you're
curve?
fucking pulling up on motherfuckers at like 30 miles an hour, there's wind there too. It's like I don't know.
Oh, Rosie's cheating. She can check her frame.
I haven't done
She's
a
actually just
drive-by.
sexy posing. She's like,
Is that what's going on?
How do
Is
I
that the-
look? if
We
I'm
can
doing
edit in
this?
all of the fucking direct hits that we want if that's the case. It's a direct hit every time.
I don't think there's a camera on the.
I don't think there is, but
On the.
we could put that in there too. We could just
Yeah.
superimpose all this. Grimace will make that shit happen. He's like a marvel with this shit. Shouts out to Grimtown Studios. Damn, who hit the orange?
Studios.
Grimtown. Who hit the
Boom.
Who hit the orange? Did you hit it twice?
Yeah, I hit it 3 times in a row.
You are a
Actually,
little asshole over here. Fucking.
that's what the fellas tell me.
Rosie fucking shot 30 shots. Fucking,
I want to build up her confidence.
but you're hitting the fucking.
I don't know if we're gonna have a
orange every
duel
time.
scheduled. I'm trying to build up her confidence, so that way she makes an error.
Ooh.
Who just did that?
I'll answer your orange with my own. Yep, I
Oh.
did. That was me. That was me with no aim.
Hell yeah.
So yeah.
Welcome to Putting the FU in Funny, everybody.
Oh, okay,
We
it's starting
are
now.
here.
We are here,
What's
baby.
happening, Pickle?
I am Pickle. I am one of the hosts. And this is Brandon Bruffett, the other
Yeah, I'm
host.
one of the hosts, and we're sitting here with a couple of awesome motherfuckers today.
Yeah, we are.
We got Christopher Anthony, one of the most prolific joke writers in all of the city.
And always stylish Miss Rosie Tran, and yeah,
She's killing the style today.
killing the game. Look, she's killing the style.
She's killing the target.
She's killing the
She's
target.
fucking hitting her mark.
She's
is
a
what
killer.
she's doing. She's
That's
hitting her mark. Yeah.
definitely exactly. She came in here with her eye on the prize.
Rosie, how long have you been in town this time?
Oh, I've been here for a few months.
You've been in New Orleans for a few months. Well, I'm upset that I'm only just seeing you out recently.
Right.
Boom. But I want to thank you for hosting a show that y'all were kind enough to let me drop in on at Comedy House the other night.
Yeah,
Thank you
that
very
was a
much.
fun show.
It was a great lineup.
You got to drop in on the fun show.
I did.
The earlier show was not fun.
Was it not? Why
No.
not? Like an audience or? just-
They were tight.
Yeah.
Remember how we were talking about religious people and spiritual people?
Yes.
I feel like they were religious people.
They were definitely religious people.
They were religious people.
But they did.
The first show. The show
Oh,
you
the
weren't.
first show.
You were
Oh,
on the fun
good.
show.
Good. Fuck them then. Oh, religious people. We need more spiritual people. Which is crazy because New Orleans is a very spiritual place.
And religious. Depends on where you are.
Depends on the person.
Did you just catch your own fucking dart?
Almost. That was almost some legendary shit.
Holy
bro.
shit, dude! We can put that in. We can make it's a catch every time, right? Right, Grim? Yeah, we can do that. We're gonna make you look like the hero.
A wise man once said, "Religion is for people who don't want to go to hell. Spirituality is for people who feel like they've already been through it."
Ooh,
like
was that an Atlas quote?
Maybe.
That's true.
Don't
though.
Maybe.
fucking maybe me. You know where your references came from.
That's true.
He's
That's
not letting
true,
us in.
though.
That's
That was
he's
in a
like,
fortune cookie. I found that in a fortune cookie. Yeah, and then it ended in bed. Like it actually printed out in bed. That was weird. I don't know why.
Yeah, and the lucky numbers were 6 and 9.
Yes.
Yeah.
Aren't they always?
I get my fortunes off the back of Snapple caps.
Wait, Snapple caps give facts, not
Facts,
fortunes.
yeah.
Facts and fortunes.
It's a fact. It's a fact that he's fortunate.
Okay, I missed.
So
Yeah, I like
what it-
how Rosie can come into town for like 3 months, but just be like, I just got here. You guys need to like book me as much as possible.
yeah.
I'm leaving.
Yeah, that's
I'm
what
leaving
I'm saying.
tomorrow.
It's like, guess what? Guess what? I'm here. You know.
Yeah.
God damn it! Like
You're like,
yeah.
really? You just got here? Because I saw you at Manchu's like last week. So what's?
Yeah, and I saw you. I saw your name on like 15 flyers, and so what's up?
No, it's a great tactic. It's a great
It
tactic.
really is. It really is. We got.
She doesn't even live in California. She just like uses someone's address on an Airbnb.
Yeah,
she checked
right.
into 4 months ago.
Full time. Full time. I'm not coming back for 3 months.
I
Yeah.
gave you a good review. Can I just like use this as my mailing address for a little while? It's just out of state gets more expensive.
So where else do you frequent comedy, Rosie?
You make me sound like I have
Frequent comedy, yeah.
Like a
where-
free
yeah,
spirit
frequent
lifestyle where I
comedy.
can like wander
Well,
around the country.
I know that. I know that you're in L.A. part of the time, and you're in New Orleans part of the time, and that would indicate to me that you
That's a lot of cities already.
that you move that you move pretty fluidly. I would think.
I'm actually a secret Kardashian, and then I just
Yeah, you are.
I would keep that a secret too. As a fucking, I'd be worried.
This brings her to the Sponsor My Butt Implants Fund
oh, that's a good idea.
so that she
Wait
can,
a minute.
so she can be official.
Are you going BBO?
No. I'm just saying it's a requirement of any true Kardashian
Well, okay,
to get something inserted.
Oh, I got you.
I thought it was BBL.
Something inserted.
Brazil-
Yeah.
Brazilian butt lift.
Nobody's gonna say anything about something inserted, but frequent comedy got all the fucking straws. Damn! Damn!
Oh,
That was
that was
epic.
good.
That's
was
where the
good.
clit is.
Oh,
He found it. He found it. He found it.
He did.
it was hidden behind all her problems.
All her issues.
Yeah, issues. Yeah.
Hey, I'm-
Boy, that has turned into a hit and miss joke, really.
Was that a pun, Brandon?
Yes. Knocked it out of there. Look at that. I knocked it loose.
So y'all want to talk about what y'all got going on real quick? Got anything y'all want to plug?
the both of us as like a partnership. Yes, actually.
I crack up every
Rosie
time
and I have
hear that
decided
This
question.
is what this whole show's about. We bring two random people in here and they create partnership for life.
We're doing a
Shows for life.
man-woman show.
A
Yes.
two-man woman
A
show.
two-man woman show.
They call that a MMF.
Where we coordinated outfits.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I'm getting
Y'all
good.
did that without even realizing it. Y'all did come in and coordinate
We're
outfits.
very coordinated.
Rosie can't.
Christopher's always colorful, bro.
So
I ha-
who is playing where coming up? What y'all got going on?
Oh, yeah, okay.
You can still shoot. You can fire.
Hold on. Okay, I have, I don't know, I'm so many things.
So many things.
I'm performing at most random street corners between 12:30 at night and 2 o'clock in the morning.
Are you a
Oh.
licensed busker?
You could find me there. You have to have a license to busk.
Man, yeah, you're supposed to.
I think you have to have a license to vet.
And that's the thing is like the buskers that do have licenses, they will fucking raise all kinds of hell if they
You
catch you
can
out
get
there
a license for that?
for busking. Yeah, you're supposed to.
All
Oh,
right,
shit.
so
I thought that's what they did in New Orleans, bro. I didn't know there was license.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
That's,
and you
that
find
is news to me.
you find those people that have that same spot like every day or
The
whatever.
city wants
So
their
they-
money,
they,
Pickle.
They busk for that, like they got a
Yeah,
license.
and
for
if
that?
they have a license
They have
and
to
you
bust
don't,
to get
and
their
you're
money
up in
to
their
get the
shit,
license to bust.
yeah, I didn't know that.
yeah, you got to work the street, illegally for a minute. But
Yeah. I thought it was just, I didn't know it was illegal or legal. I thought people just went out into the streets of New Orleans and like, fuck it, this is my,
a lot of people
my
do.
thing. This is what I'm going to do. I didn't know
a
that
lot of
there
people
was
do.
there was like a code
The
to
city
busking.
wants their license money.
Yeah.
They got to fix the potholes.
They need to do something with the fucking streets. Jesus.
Those buskers aren't driving.
The potholes are all the buskers' fault.
We need more buskers to get more licenses for more tax money.
Are the buskers are the ones filling in the potholes? Just them themselves, as a whole, they just hop in.
They're an on-site work crew.
Yeah.
On location. They live where the work is happening. Yeah. But no, you ever seen buskers fight? Like, I've
Oh, wait,
seen
wait,
on
wait.
the spot.
Hold on. Can I rewind? Okay.
I'm-
So,
yeah.
so January 24th,
You're at Conti and whatever it crosses. One of the-
I'll be the guy selling a
Yeah.
mixtape without having either a tape or a CD, just rapping into the open air, waiting for a tour bus to come by.
Yeah.
All right, so on 24th of this month, I'm performing with Jake Cosden and Jennifer Turbo,
Oh, yeah.
and I'm doing that with over Skeeta Hawk Brewing, and then what date is this? On the
What is that? Is that a craft comedy? or-
Yeah, on the
wow.
15th, I'm performing with Karen Chapman and Matt LaRocca over at Courtyard Brewery.
Yeah.
And then February 4th, I'm over at Jinx with Daniel Masterpiece and Jennifer Turbo. Basically, Jennifer Turbo and I are just sort of in a relationship. Kind
Yeah,
of thing.
yeah.
I love
Family-wise.
Jennifer
Yeah.
Turbo.
She's so fucking wild. But yeah,
She's a
y'all heard
fucking
that
rock
king
star.
cake, the king cake joke she does?
No.
It is fucking hilarious.
Oh,
It's
and then
just like
February 12th,
Yeah,
I'm
fuck.
doing Super Stand Up Sunday over at Comedy House. That's what I know of so far.
yeah, I'll be on.
Nice.
I'll be on one of those myself.
'Kay,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah. Hopefully it's with you. I like working with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's Jennifer Turbo's joke about king cake?
Jennifer Turbo does a joke about how she ate so much king cake. She ate so much king cake, and I know y'all are wondering how somebody so small can eat so much king cake. And the secret is you crush it up and snort it. That's fucking retarded, man. She's fucking crazy. She is. She really
gonna
is.
tell
a good
that
joke
girl
writer.
that lady's jokes on a fucking live.
I'm
dog.
giving it fucking props. We could edit it out. We could put stuff in there. We can edit it out. We
should
could make me
make a-
Jennifer Turbo.
Make a beep right there.
Yeah, we could just drop Jennifer.
He
image
was
right
giving
over
her
me.
props. He was
I
saying
was.
she's so awesome.
She's
No, it's-
fucking hilarious.
Jennifer's great.
This year I've decided to change two styles. So instead of because I don't like people calling me a one-liner comic. I'm not a one-liner comic. I do thematic humor, where each joke is short, but it's overall relationships or holidays. And I usually do very nice stuff. So it's smart humor. The only insulting thing I do is to tell people if they don't know how funny it is, just wait for their smarter friends to laugh and cheat off their paper. But
Yeah.
this year I'm doing long form comedy, and it's very dark. I'm gonna be very. 2023 is my year to be very mean. I'm gonna be, and just see how far I can go.
Every
before-
every year you do
wanna go on
themed.
the road?
Every year it's a new theme.
Yeah.
You are speaking a language to me
Yeah.
that I find very, very seductive.
Yeah, because I figure if we live in a society now where people really increasingly sensitive,
Yeah.
I have to go past that barrier, and I think that if you're just if you just bludgeon them into being submissive enough to give themselves permission to laugh, it'll work.
It's
Speaking
an
of
S&M comedy.
yeah, so speaking of king cake,
Sounds
right?
like
So
BDSM comedy.
The sadomasochism.
you guys heard my recent king cake joke, right?
No.
Oh, really?
I don't,
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe.
So I made a mistake last year during Mardi Gras. I hope not to make that mistake again. But last year I gave my friend a king cake, but it was 2 weeks after she had a miscarriage.
Yeah.
But I think that wasn't the bad part. The bad part was handing her the king cake and saying, "Don't worry, there's no baby in this either."
Yeah, I did hear it. I heard you do it the other night. I fucking love it.
I
It's
wouldn't do
fucking-
that. So what's weird is everyone's ass is all clenched up when I did that at Comedy House, and I'm just like, this is a blue city, right?
Yeah.
What is going on here? Why isn't this funny? And they were just like, oh, basically, you don't have permission to talk jokes like that because you're a guy. And it was just like, humor.
That's not true.
Humor is thank you.
That's not true, and I'll tell you why. People are just offended, and they get offended because I have a joke about domestic violence. I am a woman. The domestic violence actually happened to me, and people still get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So isn't that the purpose of humor, is to take something dark and make it light, or take
Right.
something horrible and
Definitely.
make fun of it?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
And I've had people be like, you can't make fun of domestic violence. I'm like, why? I was the one who fucking got beat up.
Yeah.
Why can't I make fun of it myself? Isn't that the point of comedy, to empower? So that's not true. That person was just uptight.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. People do get uptight about stuff like that, man, because they don't know how to make it funny.
Well,
You
even
know, it's all in your perspective and how you choose to word things, and you are well put together. That's a well put together joke. You know, you're a
it's
well
funny.
put together. You're a well put together person, but other people can't fathom hearing that because they can't. They don't understand what it takes to put together a joke like
Well,
that.
they're just not. They're not.
They're not comics.
They're not understanding the.
They don't understand what
making
comedy
it
is.
ridiculous.
They don't understand what comedy
making it
is. That's the point of
ridiculous,
it.
You know, there's some ridiculousness to that shit, and yeah, people get fucking bent out of shape over subject matter. It's like the context didn't even fucking harmful.
yeah.
It's not, if you're not coming from a fucking hateful place and it's
Exactly.
funny, then fucking Jesus Christ. They don't need to understand really even how to write a joke. Understand that somebody did. And it is that.
Right,
It's,
it
it's
is
a
funny.
fucking joke.
They
It's
also,
fucking funny.
everybody wants a voice, you know what I mean? And for them to be able to say, hey, I don't think you should be able to do that is their type of voice they put out there.
Well,
Without realizing what it actually is.
One woman actually inspired a joke that I tell on stage. It's weird calling them jokes because I feel like the word joke already has this preconceived notion of being a false thing. but it's just like it's an actual real thing that. So I have this joke where like two quick jokes. One is just like my friend found out he's only 80% black because he lost his arm in a car accident. It's a quick, funny joke, right?
Yeah.
But and then I have another one where like not all minorities with expensive cars sell drugs. Okay, like some of us stole the car. So I am a minority, but like
Yeah.
minority has become sort of synonymous with like one specific demographic, and that's unfair.
Yeah.
In New Orleans, as a Hispanic male, I am the minority
Right.
for sure. But truthfully, a lady came up to me afterward, and she's like, "I don't think that you should be telling jokes about black people." And this was at when Jorge had that rooftop thing.
Yeah.
For real, this girl came up to me, kind of aggro, right? And she was like, "I don't think you should be telling jokes about black people because you're not black." Now, the funny thing is, I was talking about the minority stealing cars joke. So, like, she's already adding the whole thing of, like, that specifically being black
Yeah.
people.
You didn't say anything about that. in your
Exactly.
talk,
Yeah, yeah. And so you guys are going to love this. This really was my comeback. This is true. And I tell it on stage. So I said, "Hey, so, are you a comedian?" She's like, "No." I'm like, "Oh, okay. So then, like, how do you have a right to tell comedians what's funny if you've never been?" I basically just took her rules and like threw them back at her.
Yeah.
If I can't tell jokes about black people because I'm not black, then why can you come up and critique a comic when you've never ever gone up on stage
Yeah.
and presented any kind of content to a large audience? You know,
Yeah.
it's your same rule, right? Like if I'm not part of that group, I shouldn't be saying anything.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, I get that.
Yeah, and then actually a bunch of her friends like swept up and got all like really aggressive about it, and I just went and sat over by the bar. I'm like, "Look, I'm whatever. I had just done 20 minutes, and everybody was really enjoying it. What I don't get is like it's not like we're doing pop-up comedy. Like you got dressed, you looked at like a digital flyer somewhere, and you're like, I'm gonna go to this place where people are gonna be telling jokes. I mean, not to sound like 1,000 comics in the current climate, but like, why do people go to places where like there's jokes, comedians, and humor if they're like that sensitive? Like, watch the first series of Wednesday all over again, whatever you
Yeah.
want to do, but like, why come out to a comedy show unless like I feel like some of them. There's this other quote like some people aren't happy unless they're miserable,
Mhm.
and I feel like for a lot of them, this whole like they love having that vein, that nerve exposed. It's almost like you see that wound's starting to heal, but there's just something masochistic about like keeping it open and
Yeah.
sensitive. And
Yeah.
I think that's the only answer I have
Oh, yeah,
as
that-
to why
that thing
these
is
kind
not
of people.
healing. They cut it open every day, and then
Yeah.
try to bleed on other
Spread
people.
Spread
Yeah.
it apart. Spread it apart and shit.
I also think that
Yeah.
people don't understand that comedy is not comedy. Comedy is like music. There's hip hop,
Yeah.
there's rap, there's
Yeah.
country, there's pop. There's different types of music, but people just say comedy.
Yeah.
But there's different types of
Right.
comedy. There's dark comedy, there's clean comedy, there's dirty comedy, there's prop comedy. There's so many different types of
Yeah.
comedy. So you don't go to a rock concert if you're a country fan and go, "Well, this guy sucks and he shouldn't do
Yeah, this
rock."
isn't music.
Right.
Right? You would go and enjoy it for whatever. So obviously you weren't her cup of tea, which is fine. But why would she come up to you then? Like, why would you come up to a country singer if you're, like a metal fan and be like, "Well, you shouldn't be doing country music and you're not a country
Yeah.
fan." So
Yeah.
it's okay not to be a country fan. It's okay not to be a metal fan. That's just not your thing. So
Yeah.
it's okay to watch my set and I'm not your thing and still be like, "Okay, well, I respect that she's a comedian. But I don't need to go up and say you shouldn't tell this joke or you didn't."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, was she a
Well-
white chick?
No.
Was- no. Oh
mean,
shit!
but that's the
surprises
thing.
me.
The Pickle had a point with the rise of social media and the platform that people can
Timestamp
attain.
that pickle had a point.
Pickle. Also, Karens come in all shapes and sizes. Pickle
Yeah, they do.
and colors.
Yeah, I was just wondering. My point after, if you would have said yeah, I'd have been like, well, you look like a white dude, So they, white chicks always try to tell a white dude something.
White chicks will try to tell anybody something, and like a lot, like.
But
yeah.
I've seen it to where they like jump. Personally, I've had the experience where they'll try to jump at me, but if somebody else would say it, they wouldn't tell them nothing.
What was the pickle had a point?
Yeah.
That with the
That's my
attainability
That's my
of
real laugh.
with the attainability of a platform, that people can get one fairly easily these days and get their voice out there. They want to carry that into the fucking into societal settings, and you don't need to be heard necessarily. I don't need fucking everybody to be.
No, that's right.
Fucking,
They're tamed. They've never really tamed the way they speak. You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
So people just hop on other people out in the world, and that's how you see these people making world star fucking videos and like you're going viral because you want to have your voice heard in the middle of Walmart.
Everybody
Or,
is
you
the
know.
everybody is the protector and avenger and
I
Yeah.
think I think you're right. I think it's that everyone deserves to be heard. Some people don't.
No, some people
Some people
don't.
need to shut the
Man,
fuck
one of my
up.
favorite MCs,
Right.
and one of
Some
my favorite
people need to
MCs
work
got a
on it.
line. He says MCs without a voice should write a book. Yeah, go write a book. You know, fucking leave me the fuck alone with what I'm saying.
Well,
I'm not-
luckily, most people who think it's a platform don't realize it's really just a dunk tank. If you hit the right spot, then they're just drowning in their own negativity.
Yeah, yeah, you're right about that. But fuck them though, man. You know, that's where I'm at. Fucking boom.
I like how no matter how
Fuck 'em.
eloquent the conversation ever gets, doesn't matter how scholarly any of the people, at the end you could just kill anything with like, fuck them.
We do not promote death or killing on this show.
What? Who was saying that?
You,
Just the shooting of Nerf guns at
Yes.
Brandon.
Oh, I didn't shoot him.
Oh,
Oh, that was weak. It was weak. Boy, I'm telling you what, it came out of there with question.
Pass the bag, please.
No,
Come on, man.
I'm in my bag.
Rosie, when did you know that you were funny?
I wasn't.
Wait a minute. And then just you were all of a sudden?
No, I was shy growing up. I was horribly shy. I couldn't even go up to someone and ask for a napkin.
So
That's
what brought
pretty
you?
specific. Well, I need to hear that story about the like I got all the way to him and then I was just for a napkin.
No, I was dating a guy who wanted to be a comedian, and I used to sit in the back. I'm sure you guys have seen this, right? Someone's trying to do comedy, and then they bring their girlfriend with them, and she's sitting in the back with her arms crossed, like, when are we
yeah.
going to get out of here? These comics suck. That was me.
Oh.
And the girls usually more funny. I had two girls at the. I had a girl at the mic last night, and she was like, "I came to see this dude," and I was like, "No, I need you to sign up, please. You look much more interesting."
So I did that, and then, we broke up, and I realized, so I hated comedy. I thought all comedians were losers and annoying. Sorry. And I thought it was stupid, and I was like, you need to get a real job. This is dumb. And then after we broke up, I was like, oh, I kind of miss going to the comedy show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a real thing to get out and actually have laughter in your life.
So what made you make the transition to from scowling audience member to getting on stage?
So he was actually always encouraging me to do comedy. He's like, you have a sourpuss face. You're sitting in the back miserable. He's like, why don't you write 5 minutes of material, and then you'll have something to talk to the other comics about,
Yeah.
instead of sitting in the back and looking mean.
No, well, that's an interesting.
And also, I would write jokes for him. I'd be like, why don't you say it like this? Or why don't you say it like this? It's funnier.
I was going to ask
Okay.
if he ever did any of your jokes.
He did, and it was always funnier when he did it the way I told him.
Yeah. Okay.
You have to say when she's on her period. You can't say when I'm on. Don't read it verbatim, you dumb fuck.
I was like, you got to say it like this. So whenever he would take my advice, he'd always get a laugh. So we broke up, and I was like, well, I kind of miss going to open mics. Well, I kind of miss the other comics. I think it was just him that I was not into.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like how you pointed at Chris.
Turned out I'm a big
It's
fan of
just this
comedy.
It's just him that's
Yeah.
not funny.
So I was like, I think it's just not him that I'm not into. So I thought about it. So I still would go to open mics, but I would just watch. And I was like, well, what would I talk about if I had material? And then one day I did stand up, and I was really, really painfully shy. I'm a huge introvert.
Yeah.
And when I went on stage, this sounds very cheesy and spiritual, but I felt like I was home.
That's what's up.
Oh, I dig that.
The first time you felt
The first time.
That damn.
You were here or you were in L.A.?
I was in LA, but I would go back and forth a lot at that time.
Oh yeah.
So I kind of started with the comics, a lot of comics here. I was the generation right before Chris True, so
Okay.
there was a guy named Seth Cockfield. Yes,
That's a
that was
great
his real
name,
name.
Seth
Cockfield. I just call myself Cockfield.
And he had a show with, I don't know why I'm blanking. I've known him for 20 years. He's got a beard. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name.
Sean Patton.
Sean Patton and Sean Patton.
Okay.
So I kind of started with that group.
She says the comic that has a beard. And you're like,
Yeah.
Sean Patton.
And I'm like, goddamn. Like,
I know she
him.
knows Sean.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I kind of started with that whole group with Sean and his whole crew.
Okay. How was it? How was it like here then? I know not as many mics and shit, huh?
No, the comedy scene in New Orleans has always been really cool. There was no club, so that kind of
Yeah.
was weird. And it was fun. There was a place called True Brew in the Warehouse District.
True Brew?
Yeah.
Still there, huh?
I don't know. And they had
heard that
they had
name.
comedy, and obviously Red Bean has been around since the dawn of time. Sorry,
Yeah,
Red
man. Yeah.
What up, Red Bean? Shout out.
Shout out to Red Bean.
Bean. So Red Bean was really supportive, and everyone was really, really supportive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Sean Patton knows my ex.
Oh, really?
Is he your ex?
No, Sean Patton is not my ex, but he knows my ex.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Sean's cool. He's a fucking super funny motherfucker, man.
Yeah, he's great though. He's super nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he really is. And so,
So I never knew I was funny. I just started. I fell into it, I guess.
yeah,
So your aha moment was simply just getting on the stage.
I went on stage and like I said, I was really, really shy. And so I was like, even the thought of me doing stand-up was like, I was like, you're crazy, Rosie. Like, you're not a comic.
Yeah.
But I was a comic.
yeah,
Yeah. I just didn't know it.
Yeah, you are.
that's what's up.
I like
But you found out.
I like you're like, I'm shy and an introvert. Like that's 90% of most comics. Why did that deter you in any way? You're like, I'm one of them already.
That's interesting that you say that because,
Most comics are introverted.
well, and like we were talking about earlier, I used to be very, very social.
Yeah.
Like super extroverted, and you know, it wasn't until I started becoming an introvert, and
The removal of monuments, right? That's when it started happening.
no. It was.
I got that.
It
I
was-
got that.
It was happening. That might have been in the works. I'm sure that it was in the works, but yeah. I started
Circa
like
2016.
isolating and shit like that, you know, and then I became a comic. So like that.
I was
it's
so
not until that-
introverted. People bullied me to stop doing comedy that knew me before because they were so shocked that I was doing comedy.
Wow.
I had someone create "I hate Rosie Tran" at Yahoo, and write me a letter, and they're like,
That's
"How
wild.
dare you think you can do comedy?" Because I
Really?
was so.
Wait. Luckily, you were in LA at the time.
I was in LA at the time.
Oh, so there's like 1,000 Rosie Trans. They didn't even know it was you. I mean, come on, let's be real.
But
this
you're
is
saying
Los Angeles.
This
come
is
on.
somebody that knew you from before.
I think it was someone from high school because of stuff that they said. Yeah.
Okay.
It's actually the only remaining
Wow.
MySpace page up right
wow,
now.
that's fucked up. That somebody that
That's
you
the second
know.
time that's happened. I had another person create like an "I hate Rosie Tran," maybe possibly a Gmail or something.
You just got
Yeah.
some.
They
That's how you know you're
updated.
doing something right because
Those
you got
people
some haters.
updated.
You got if you got haters, you're doing something right. I actually experienced that the other day. I was talking to somebody from like my childhood, younger years and stuff, and like him and his brothers said that they were talking about me like we didn't even know you was funny. You know, like
You're like, "Oh, thanks."
people. Well, it's like okay, yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, thanks a lot. You never listened, but it's like people get surprised that you became something.
Well, also, I think a lot of, I call them normies or civilians,
Yeah.
have this stereotype that comedians are like, "Hey, what are you?"
Yeah.
When really, as you said, we're all.
Oh my god, I thought she was having a seizure.
There are a
A lot of
couple
comedians are
those.
like, oh.
We're really,
She just teleported into a Looney Tunes bit just now.
most of us are shy and introverted, but yeah, people think the guy, the annoying guy at the water cooler with
Oh, yeah.
the shooty fingers.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I got a joke for you.
Hey.
Yeah. That
The
dude-
morning radio guy.
The
Oh my
morning
God.
radio guy.
Do you know that that's my origin story? No, seriously.
A morning
Is
radio?
you came out of a water fountain?
No,
Your origin story is the morning radio guy.
no. Okay, so this guy Matthew at work, like back in the day, everybody thought he was super funny.
And he
right?
was one of those annoying guys.
So in that work setting, when with opposite like stress and crazy calls coming through, sure, he's like a light amongst the shadows. So here we all like fostered and built him up,
Yeah.
and then we signed him up for the Hollywood Improv
No.
open mic
No,
night.
you did.
We did. He got like 20 people because like the improv, you know, you guys been in major cities where they have the improv, whatever city it is.
Yeah.
It's all, I mean, not to say that it's not a great way to get exposure, but for the most part, it's like you bring your friends, and for every 3-4 people you bring, you get another minute on stage, but it's open mic.
Okay.
So he brought like 20 people, and he bombed really, really. Now, keep in mind, I think a fourth of the audience are his people,
Yeah.
and it just wasn't funny. And that, I was never funny. I actually paid for college with theater. I did theater all through high school. I never, ever auditioned or went for comedic roles. I was not the class clown. I wasn't funny. I wasn't silly. I was really, really serious. And then when I went to that one, it's so weird. She talks about the water cooler guy and about watching other people. My friends were hosting open mics. But these were open mics, meaning acoustic performer,
Yeah.
hip hop lyricist, all that stuff.
Slam poets.
Yeah, I mean, just a range of stuff, right? And I was just sitting there, and I basically did this like choose your adventure kind of thing. The guy would take it, whatever comedian was up there would be like, okay, blah, blah, blah. The premise was good, but like the direction he went was completely different. And so I just started gathering notes. And my friend one time, he's like, we don't have any comedians tonight. Do you think like maybe, I mean, I was funny conversationally, but never, ever on stage. And he's like, you're always writing notes. You're like, aficionado when it comes to humor. So like, I need to have comedians. I can't just have all of one thing. And I went up there, and I'm not even kidding. It's recorded. I went up there and I did 15 minutes about like relationships, and I killed. Like
Yeah.
they loved it.
First time.
Yeah, I
Fucking
look. I know
asshole.
a lot of comics are going to say this.
Yeah.
Fuck
I
you,
yeah,
dude.
I haven't.
15-minute set. Yeah.
Fucking my origin
Prodigy
story
child.
is legendary. It's fucking. You'd never believe it. I hatched out of an egg onto a stage. I did 15 minutes immediately the next night. I did fucking 2 hours. Those same people brought 100,000 viewers. Yeah, dude.
Rosie, that's
fucking
actually my origin
Jesus
story.
Christ. So yeah, continue with your.
Look, I think I even have it linked on YouTube. It's just like relationships 101, and I basically talked about relationships like they're all different carnival rides.
Yeah.
Like the pirate ship, that's when you're in a relationship where like slowly but surely like shit goes missing. You know, like when you go on a pirate ship and you start losing your change and your keys and stuff. Anyway, so and it went really well. And he's like, his name's Micah. He's like, dude, you got to do this. You got to do this more often. Now,
Yeah.
maybe it was successful because like I was the only comic. But a lot of people would be like, oh, it's hard without an opener, without people sort of warming up the crowd.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was that and just like hardcore rock and some rappers and stuff. And it was insane. And I had like tons and tons of notes. So I was just like, I'll tell you what, I'll just get through the material I already have. I'll do a few shows. And then before I knew it, I loved writing so much. And I was just like, all right, it was after a while, like people who like cook. I don't know if you know people who cook just for fun. But like they
Yeah.
don't care who eats it. They're just like, I really loved baking this cake or like making this lasagna or whatever. So that's what I was doing. I just really loved cooking, and people just gave me a platform and a place to
Yeah.
share some of the content, and it was going like,
Delicious, yo.
yeah, it was going really, really well. And then that place that hosted the event, like they were kind of struggling for business, so all that fell by the wayside. And then I just kept writing until. I moved out to New Orleans.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is going to be how I meet people. I want to find all the unemployed alcoholics.
Yeah.
So like, let's go. Let's get on the mics.
Yeah.
And I
well,
used comedy as a way to make friends in New Orleans. No shit.
You really are one of the most prolific joke writers in the city. I mean, one thing that really impressed me about you, I mean, even after we knew each other, was you coming around with a ring of mini note cards, 300,
Yeah.
and that was only like what not even a third
Yeah.
of the jokes that you
Yeah,
have.
you definitely have
300
more.
at a time rolling around with.
What at any given moment, you got 3,000 more likely now. But what really impressed me, I found out that you like you do poetry and you're like one of the best speakers in America,
Yeah. I mean,
which is fucking crazy, bro.
I have trophies to prove it. This is not an egotistic thing.
It's not. I'm not even bull. She showed me
My
all
mama
of them.
said nobody likes a bragger.
I'm not bragging. It's just fact.
I'm fucking with you, bro. No, you're accomplished.
Nah,
So let's talk
I'm
about
bragging on
That's
you,
why
bro.
I even
Yeah,
had to say
I'm
it's
bragging
recorded.
on
Like
you.
I really, I was so astonished.
it.
that
I got proof I'm off. No.
It's on YouTube with 1 million hits.
Yeah, no, he's definitely like we were on the way to an open mic one night in Mississippi, and this dude's doing a motivational speech in the back of my van.
Yeah.
Like straight the fuck up, straight the fuck up.
Yeah.
That happened. That happened. It
did happen.
It was like I was up there and like I dropped a tear.
That was
I
in
like,
2020
I'm
too.
motivated now. He's just doing it.
Yeah, when 2020 happened, I felt like since people were so isolated, I started jumping on all the Zoom stuff, and I got like higher end equipment because I figure you can get it once and you can use it as much as possible. And yeah, I ended up I was trying to just help as many people as possible because the whole idea is like comedy is just like one vessel, right? So if you're the intellects that we are, and you're as
Stop it.
no, I mean right because humor.
Yes.
Humor,
You
like,
saw his
I
ego being
totally
stroked
agree.
right
Yes,
there.
go ahead.
okay, so humor is the greatest form, the greatest mastery of language, truthfully. And point proven, I taught English for speakers of other language, ESOL, and when they knew that they had a fair, good mastery of the English language, they told jokes because the way that you have to play around with words goes
You have to
against
understand puns. You have to understand.
goes
yeah.
against
Yeah.
the regular formation of like sentence structure that they
Yeah.
learned.
It's
So they have to learn it to
efficiency,
that
yeah.
degree to know how to move the words around to be able to garner humor.
Yeah, and that makes sense because fucking humor doesn't land the same way in other languages.
No.
And
That's
it's
true.
yeah.
If you've ever performed for audiences that don't speak English that well, sometimes it's a mix.
Really,
Mixed
yeah, I
up.
have not. You've done that.
I
There's a-
perform for audiences who don't know how to listen to English that well.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's rough.
Yeah, now no grasp of the English
That's-
language really is a different thing than like understanding a different language.
Yeah. There's a comedy show I used to do at the International Youth Hostel, and there was different people from different countries there, and so that was really awesome because you could see what jokes you had that were universal and
Yeah.
what jokes people were kind of like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why and it also ends up teaching me and others to be as concise as possible because the longer form the humor is, or the more you try and do a callback, the more the expectations you have of them of like understanding every single word.
Yeah.
So the more concise you are, the better chance you have of getting a broader audience to be able to find it funny.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I think that's the case even for English speaking
Yeah.
folks as a first language is to be as concise as you can. Distraction is you don't need anything distracting from the point. Yeah.
Make it universal, baby.
Yeah, I have a deck. What you guys were talking about before. I have a deck of like I think it's like 40 or 50 jokes that are all 10 words or less.
That's awesome. I like that.
Yeah.
That's a good way.
One of my shortest jokes is
That's crazy.
I'm really bad at meth and
Yeah.
spelling.
And spelling. I love that joke.
Yeah, that's a good.
I
one.
love that joke.
That's like always hits in the club.
Yeah, it does. It's a funny fucking joke. Yeah, I love a good meth joke. I do. I love a good meth joke, man. But like short jokes, to me, they're the best things ever. You can throw them right in the middle of fucking like bigger bits and just like. That is the transition. Yeah, I know that joke related to neither one of these in either way, but that was the transition. You got it. They are great, especially because like when I'm speaking normally, I tend to be drawn out.
Yeah.
So to have something that's so concise that gets the point across is fantastic, man. I mean, it really is. Anyways, well, smoked a joint. You fucking tells me that.
But yeah, what I was saying before is I think a lot of us, so like comedy is one vessel. So like let's say the theme, the way it works in my head is technology. So like there's jokes about that. There's stuff that's like more spoken word poetry. It's going to hit a little bit harder, and there's not going to be much humor involved. And then there's the long form, the more politically correct, professional speaking version of technology. So like for instance, so let's talk about Facebook, right? So like Facebook, the funny joke might be, I think Facebook is great because not everybody wants to be addicted to like alcohol or drugs. It's also the most appropriate drug for most grandparents. So like that's a joke, right? And then the more serious spoken word version is like Facebook. It takes a website to tell you you have 437 friends, but all it takes is a flat tire at 437 to show how many friends you really have,
Yeah.
right? So that's gonna hit. That's not funny.
I like that,
but
but people listen to that,
Right.
And yeah, that's an amazing thing that you do. Like, dude, you're really good at that. Like, during 2020, you sent me one of these poems, and it literally made me drop a tear. I was like, this piece of shit
Just
made
one?
a grown man
Just one?
cry. Like,
Just one?
it was like two, maybe.
Yeah,
It was maybe like two, but I was like,
Yeah,
this
'cause you gotta keep
motherfucker
it
trying to
balanced,
pull
yeah.
my emotions out of me and shit
Yeah.
with this spoken word
Yeah.
shit. But no, you really, you have it's a talent that is rare. That's the only word for it. Is rare, bro. I've seen you sent me a couple of these things where you go up, where other people go up as well.
Yeah.
And they're talented, but your shit is on a different level.
It's the same with comedy. Like I value people's time, and I know that unfortunately because of social media, our attention spans are shrinking, and it's rough. So what I try to do is I try to stay thematic. So whether I'm doing a speech, a spoken word piece, or even comedy, I realize it's like, okay, if what I said in the last 15 seconds isn't for you, cool. Like I watch, I really maintain as much eye contact with the audience as possible because I want to make sure that like I resonate scattered through the audience. So I'll see like this hit a few people, this hit a few people, but these people didn't necessarily get it. Okay, but on the theme of whatever, whether it's relationships, technology, or whatever it may be, I'm like, I want to make sure that all of you come away having like not just heard something, but like what I call an emotional echo. So like after the mic is turned off, after you've exited the space, you're still hearing some of that.
Yeah.
Or like even in the humor, it's just like the billboard. Like there's a billboard downtown that says "Learn to Read." Like who is that billboard for?
I know, I've seen that.
Right.
And then people, whether they think I'm full of shit or whatever, they drive over to the CBD, look at the billboard like to the left of the library, and like, oh my god, this guy wasn't fucking kidding me. Or like they change the street names because they thought they were racist, and I'm like, I wrote to the mayor, and there's a bunch of racist potholes I need to get rid of immediately.
So what did you start first? Comedy first, or spoken word?
I mean, for real, I was real serious, like a real serious human being, and I just felt like I had to own up to this fucked up mean face of mine.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really, maybe a little bit sarcastic or cynical here and there, but I started off with doing like long speech form because I had already worked a lot on my oratory skills through theater. Like I paid for school with theater. And I liked the monologues. I liked the one-man shows and things of that sort. So I did that.
On a scholarship?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I started,
That's what's up.
and then I would find things that I was saying that would get like a smirk or a giggle. And what I try to do is I try and compartmentalize everything. So like if that paragraph ended up getting people laughing, then that whole concept exists on itself. That's why I'm a big fan of note cards. So like, okay, cool, like that, okay, and then can I add these things? Is this 4 minutes? Is this 10 minutes? And can I transition well from this? But yeah, to answer your question,
So
I
you-
started off with like speeches and then poetry
Okay.
and then comedy. That's why I'm telling you, humor is like the black belt of oratory skills for sure.
I like that.
Yeah.
Bro. That is well put together. That's well said, bro. I feel like a black belt now. After you said all that like that, bro, I feel like we just skipped all the white belts and the blue belts and went straight to black belt. Yeah. But you took like you dude, I've seen your like work ethic out of your house firsthand, and it's ridiculous, dude.
Yeah, I try and keep everything like as organized and compartmentalized because sometimes when I leave my house, I genuinely have no idea when I'll get back. So like yeah, my backpack is loaded up with everything I might possibly need for the day. People make fun of me all the time. I think there's at least 24 fucking comics that who didn't know me or like, hey, that guy doing his taxes in the back table, or like
All the time.
Yeah.
that guy.
Well,
All
you
the time.
definitely look like you're set up on fucking like you look like a hacker back there. That's just like
2 minutes away from getting to the
screens everywhere.
Pentagon.
Like fucking.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, you know what's so funny? I always ask every comic, seriously, if I've talked to you at length, I'll say, like, how do you preserve your thoughts? Like, how do you preserve... Seriously, I love finding out how do people take, these funny ideas or funny concepts, how do they preserve that to the point of curating it and then presenting it? I love asking people
Mostly
that.
with alcohol. They preserve it with alcohol.
No, but I'll see some people like everything's on my phone, and I'm like, all right, well, but then I'll see like I'm obviously I'm old school, so if I see somebody with like a real bent up like frayed moleskin and like a tiny pen with like scattered stuff everywhere, I'm like, yeah, that's my shit. Like I really really like that,
Yeah.
But then I wonder like you must have an amazing memory because I'm just taking a peek and not being invasive, like. None of that. I don't see an outline. I don't see bullet points. And I'll see people before a show. We're all backstage, right? And they just like, okay, I don't know. Shit looks like The Matrix, except written, right? They close it up and they're like, okay, cool. There's 12 minutes. Like, what just happened? Like, what did you just reference? Like, how do you preserve your ideas? Like, how do you...
It's just written out like that. There's no bullet points or anything. I'll do a set list with like just one word to remind me.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Oh,
That's-
quick question too. Like, I have really bad memory issues. I'm curious. Be honest, okay? Don't worry about hurting my feelings or anybody else who does this. Is it completely just like unprofessional to have notes on stage?
It depends on the situation.
Depends
If it's
on
an
the
open mic, if it's
person.
if it's an
also.
open mic, you should definitely. I mean, you shouldn't feel any way about having notes on stage for sure. Now, a lot of people that are doing booked shows will have notes on them, but they're hidden somehow, whether it be written on the palm of their hand or on inside of their arm, whatever the case may be. But yeah, I don't like to take notes up if it's a booked spot.
You've done 30 minutes. You've done an hour, right? What did you do?
It just depends on the situation. But yeah, if it's a professional show, you shouldn't have notes. If it's an open mic, notes are fine. And then it depends on who you are. If it's a professional show and you're Dave Chappelle, bring your notebook up. It's
Right.
like, it depends on the person.
And I've seen it too, where hell, I've even had this done at MRB. It was awkward at MRB, but there was a screen that the audience couldn't see. Now it was high, so you had to look up at it, but you could run your notes. He would just download or print out a set list for you, and you could go with it. But tape if the stage is high enough where they can't see the top of the bar stool,
Yeah.
you can if it's a book show, you can tape your notes to it, and then they're there, and you can just make a glance down at that. Like, it seems
I mean, I've seen
fucking-
some
See, I
comedy
don't do
Comedy
any of
Central
it.
specials, and you see like a fucking piece of paper right by like their wine glass, their beer,
Yeah.
whatever, like sitting on the
Well,
stool.
I've been to a taping of a Comedy Central special before, and they'll have a screen for the comic and put his bullet points on that screen.
Nice. Okay.
So they can see that.
teleprompter style.
Yeah, teleprompter, they'll do that. Personally, I don't write anything down.
You don't write anything down at all.
not to go on the stage with.
I am neither
Oh, yeah,
Republican
like
or a
not to go on
Democrat.
stage.
Set list.
No, I don't.
No, we can
Nobody
tell.
knows who you are.
Yeah, we can
I
tell.
can't go up there with notes during an open mic or a book gig. It's just not my thing. I can't. I've tried it, and I turn into a bumbling fool trying to
Trying
you
to
know,
read.
Too, it's
trying
too
to read.
distracting.
Yeah.
Trying to read. He's like, oh, what is it?"
Really?
Unless it's roast battle. For some reason, they come out nicely during roast battle for the most part.
How did you go about remembering 30 minutes of material?
So I would do it in sections. So when I would go to open mic, I would do a 5-minute section, 5-minute section, 5-minute section, and memorize it in that section. and then I only had to memorize the connecting jokes.
Okay.
So I had a 5-minute set on, which was like my intro jokes, and then I had a 5-minute set on relationships, and then I had a 5-minute set on whatever, and then I just have connector jokes that connect them, and so then I did my 5 minutes, and I just have to remember that connector, and it brings me to the next 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It
Okay.
seems like a good strategy.
But if
too.
you forget that first word to get you started,
You're fucked.
the whole thing is shot 50 minutes out the window.
That has happened to me, and then what I did was I went to the next section and kept going, and then I remembered and I went back. But then, in the moment, then I had to somehow connect the whole thing.
I think crowd work actually originated from somebody fucking with people until they remembered what they really wanted to say.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
My honest belief is you
It
look up
could be.
the origin story of crowd work, it's just like, hold on a second. If I just keep insulting the people in the first few rows, I will remember this word.
A lot of crowd work is fake, though. Like, I know comics that seem like they do a lot of crowd work, but it's like prepared.
Yeah.
Like a psychic.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, because when you ask people stuff on the spot, they usually only answer a couple variations, like, oh, what do you do? And then you have certain things that you can make fun of based off of that.
Yeah.
Like, I know one guy in LA that his whole act is crowd work, but it's like fake crowd work because he asks the same types of questions that lead people to say certain
Who
things.
here is wearing a white
Yeah.
shirt? Isn't that crazy? Oh my God. Buttons, am I right? It's ridiculous.
Something like that, but more complex, but that.
Yeah.
No, that's definitely exactly. Yeah, people who do crowd work, I do a little crowd work, and the more you do it over time, you build a set with it.
Yeah, people answer the
It's-
same type of questions.
a
Oh, this
fun-
is my wife. This is my
Yeah.
girlfriend. Whatever.
Yeah, it's a fun thing. I like it. I got a bunch of crowd work stuff. I like talking to the crowd, but it's to the, you got to get it to that point where you're making it look organic every time, and that's the hard part. But that's why the crowd comes into play because they make it look organic.
But crowd work can go really south too.
It can. It can.
Pickle has this
And-
whole thing
and
about
if it's I'm sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
Pickle has this whole thing about lesbians, and I watched it happen last night. Any lesbians in the audience, and he pointed to a table where no one was fucking sitting. Like, oh, you girls know what I'm talking about, right? I like lesbians because I show
There
them
was
how to
two
wear a
women.
hat.
Yeah.
And they-
Yeah.
There was two women there. There was not nobody. There was
he'll
two
make,
women.
he'll
sitting
make a
there.
straight woman question her
He
sexuality.
saw.
Be like, you sure?
Oh, I do that.
Because for the
yeah.
purpose
I
of this
like that.
joke, you
That's-
need to be. You know.
That is fun, you know. You can watch a chick turn lesbian right before your eyes nowadays. It's fucking crazy.
Well, you can. You definitely can. That can happen for sure.
Yeah.
Most of Pickle's ex-girlfriends, he watched it happen.
oh,
Oh, burn!
not really. They
I'm
can-
just kidding.
They can never come back here.
Actually, my sophomore year, my high school sweetheart, yeah, by the time we were juniors in high school, she was like completely gay, and I was the
Yeah.
last guy she ever dated. Yeah, so
Congratulations, man.
yeah.
Here,
Just got that
I'll
one out of the
see
way.
You out. Yeah, I'll see you out.
just
you
get
know.
that one out of the way. Make sure you put her.
It
on
was
the other.
so good she could never go
That's
back.
exactly
Yeah.
right. That's
Ugh.
exactly right. You're the end all be all.
And that's
Yeah.
how we put in the FU and funny today, you guys.
Yeah.
We gotta.
Yeah, so fuck her.
We gotta.
Oh, it's already over. That was awesome.
Yeah, we gotta wrap.
Oh
it
my
up.
god.
Yeah, we got to say we got to cut 10 minutes off of it so y'all could pick up these darts. That's the only
This
thing
is-
we.
We
This
let
is so
y'all do
fun.
The
it.
only thing we ask of our guests is that you get on
Clean
your
up your
hands and
fucking
knees
mess.
and pick up every fucking dart. Okay,
Nah.
no, whatever.
Y'all got anything y'all want to put out there to the world? Where can they follow you at? And what kind of shows you got going on, Rosie?
I'm on all social media platforms at Funny Rosie, except for Instagram, which is Out of the Box Rosie. But that's a long story. Someone took my Funny Rosie handle.
Oh.
I am CA seriously funny on
Hell yeah, you are.
most things. I don't know. I think.
I'm not a TikToker. Are you a TikToker?
No, I don't.
I'm not into TikTok.
Yeah, I don't.
Me
I,
either.
actually, I don't
Haven't
actually
yet.
have any social medias, but I'm on social media. It's a long story short. I don't want to interact with those things, but I want to be able to be a blip on people's radar on those things. And I have people who care so much about what I'm doing that they are willing to like take the stuff that I write and post it on there, the images, and post them on there, and then forward me any messages that people send.
The most
awesome.
interesting man in the world, right here.
It really
Literally.
is.
You got anything you want to throw out there, Bruffett?
Yeah, man. I got
Look, Rabbit.
I'm featuring at Comedy House for house party
Yay!
There you go.
on February 1st. On the 2nd, you and it's me and you, babe, at the duo show for Comedy House.
It's me and you,
It's just
baby.
the two of us.
That's two different songs, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And they were all different than the first one I was singing because I forgot the words to all of them. And then
So
February 14th, I'm saying fuck you to Valentine's Day. I mean, that's just on my own. It's not a performance or anything like that. It's just something I'm doing. You can join me if you want to.
I'm having a guy dressed as Cupid, and I'm shooting him with all my Nerf guns.
And yeah.
That sounds like a one-man show.
Now this is a long way away, but keep your ears open and eyes open for a Fat Tuesday spot in the quarter.
Ooh.
Hello.
To TBA.
I have a portable PA system and everything. We should just do it.
Do you have your license? You
nah,
might need a
this-
license.
I'll be in a licensed
I'm
spot.
a criminal.
I'll be in a licensed spot. It will be inside. So, yeah.
That's what's up.
This has been fun. I love this, but like also, it goes by so fast.
It does.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
It does.
Every Tuesday, y'all can come out to another bar. We do a great open mic where you can catch comics like all three of these wacky folks right here.
Wacky. Hold on.
Waka.
That's us comedians.
That's us comics. Nah, you can definitely come out there and catch some of the best comics in the city at another bar for Getting Pickled every Tuesday night, 8:30 to 12.
Getting pickled.
Getting Pickled, baby.
Right.
That's what I do to them out there. Let's see.
I'm still sore.
January 26, 27, 28. I'm at Zeitgeist opening for Mo Alexander. February 2nd, I'm with this guy at Comedy House. We're going to do something on stage together. We'll figure something wacky.
Thanks to Rosie, we're all just gonna do that now.
Yo. I'll be at, I actually got the text to be at St. Mark's Comedy Club in New York for February 10th, February 11th, Scranton Comedy Club in Pennsylvania. And then I'll pop up in fucking Michigan somewhere.
Like
And
a
look,
whack-a-mole.
March 24th and 25th, I'm headlining in Panama, and I got Chris Anthony opening for me. So
Yeah.
you guys come out to one of those shows and hang out, and we're gonna have a good
Come
time.
out to New York or Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Panama
If you're in New York,
City.
Come
or
on out to
I know people.
Pennsylvania.
I know
Friendly-
people in New York, dude, and Pennsylvania,
Friendly Pennsylvania.
And Panama.
and Panama.
Yeah.
Panama, hey, man. Panama City is awesome. That's a fucking great room over there.
It is.
Your library?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I love it, man.
Hell yeah,
Thank
shouts
y'all for
out.
coming in today.
This was so fun. Thank you.
Yeah,
I
well,
appreciate
thanks
you,
for sitting with
Rosie
us.
and Chris. This was
Yeah.
fun, you guys.
Yeah,
Thank y'all
absolutely.
for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button and share with your friends, you guys.
Yeah, and
See y'all
F you.
next time.
Hell yeah. Thank y'all so much.
That was so fun.
Yeah, it was.
You've never met people like that? They're like,